Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Nathan Rourke took this league by storm. The Canadian that played at Ohio, started with the Lions this year. What's next for Nathan Rourke?
Well, for Nathan, he's going to go try out with some NFL teams. There's been over 24 teams that have inquired about him. That doesn't mean 24 teams want to sign him, but they're probably, I would imagine he'll have somewhere between 8 and 10 workouts with different NFL teams, and that'll begin right away. The window opens for CFL players to go try NFL opportunities on November 21st, the day after Grey Cup. So he's got workouts scheduled for the Monday, Tuesday, the 21st and 22nd. They wanted to start right away so they could spread it out a bit, not really overload his foot by having, 5 workouts in 6 days or something like that. So he'll go through that process and see if the right situation's there, and if it is, that's what he's going to do.
Okay, so you're way more of a football guy than me. You coach it for the love of Pete, not to mention just covering it as well. My Florida football guys say this kid's got it. He's got NFL written all over him. What would be his expectation? He's not a number one, is he, in the NFL?
No, not day one, right? I mean, could he be better than Taylor Heineke or John Wolford or some of these guys? Yeah, absolutely. I do think that, right? But the point is, look, I get people on Twitter saying to me, well, why doesn't he do what Warren Moon did? There is no window for that anymore. There is nothing a quarterback could do in the Canadian Football League which would create such a market for him in the NFL that multiple teams would offer him big money to be a number one quarterback. That just doesn't happen in today's day and age. A lot's changed in 40 years.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
We were on the road with the Rough Riders. Joe Womack was our strength coach, and he was rooming with Ron Estee. I'm coming down the elevator with Joe Womack, and he is so mad. And I'm like, what's wrong, Joe? And he goes, you wouldn't believe what Estee did. He's in his underwear, and he emptied the minibar. Smarties and the Kit Kats, thinking it's free, thinking it was a gift basket. And Joe looks at me, it ain't funny.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Yes, it is. Hello, Canada and Canadian sports fans in the United States. Welcome to the RP Show. It's the final show of the 109th Grey Cup week, and we're live from Ballers RecRoom before a live studio audience. Can we get a little noise over here, everybody? Thank you. I don't know what's going on. I think somebody was fooling around with our third camera, eh, Moose? Last night, was it you, Kelly? It's not working, I guess. But we do have Darren Moose Dupont here. Great hair. You got that special lacquer going today, Moose?
Whatever it takes.
How's your week going, sir?
It's going really well.
Good.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Friday, though.
Your eyes are red.
Are they red?
Yes, they are. Late night?
It's been a week.
All right. Yes, it has. Hey, by the way, I got so many guests on this sheet, all lined up by producer Clark, that I didn't even write them all down. We got World Series champion, 16-year major leaguer Gregg Zaun coming up in hour 2. We've got Reid Johnson here from the MarkCast all the way from Seattle. He's going to be joining us in hour 1. The sports doctor, Dave Patrician. We got Candid Frank here, Frank the Tank. Give us a big hey, Frank. Hey, yeah, all the way from the Big Smoke, T-Dot. He's going to be here to talk Grey Cup. And the interesting thing, before we get into all the other sports topics here, because there are other fans of other leagues and sports that have stopped in to talk sports on Game Plus TV and WQEE here. But I will say this, Moose and I have taken decidedly different roads, Grey Cup roads.
Yes.
You've been hitting every event. That's why your eyes are red.
That might be.
I laid down to sleep last night at 9 o'clock. I don't even know if it was halftime of the Thursday night football game. And I'm like, how did I do it? All those years. I'm tired now.
I know.
I was with the Army guys last night. I was at the Army barracks and hearing their stories over at the Canadian Armed Forces. So, yeah, you were out partying. So, listen, in 60 seconds or less, tell me about the CFL Awards. So you had a great time.
It was a great time. Awards were great. Good to see all the winners and all the nominees out and all the players, and did a little mingling. And everybody said to say hi.
Nice.
And they missed you last night, so that was really good. But made some really great connections. And, again, congrats to all the winners. The speeches were great. Probably O'Shea's was the best of them all.
Yeah?
He was really good. Nathan Rourke. Of course, Zach winning the big one. So, It was a really, really great night. And I think maybe why that was right, because that night was late, and then I had to come home and had to watch the Thursday Nighter.
Right.
So that was a little, I pushed that back on delay, so.
You're getting ahead of yourself, Moose. You're reading my diary?
Maybe.
Can you hit the quick six show horn, please, Director Jordan, and let's get into it. So
How about that?
we'll revisit those CFL awards and so forth coming up here. But number one is the Thursday night game. Ryan Tannehill threw for 333 yards and 2 touchdowns to outduel Aaron Rodgers as the Tennessee Titans defeated the Green Bay Packers 27-17 on Thursday Night Football. Rodgers threw for 227 yards and 2 touchdowns to rookie Christian Watson. Green Bay has lost 6 of 7. Did I tell you that I was at Canadian Tire the other day picking up something and the guy in front of me's name was Aaron Rodgers?
No.
I didn't know if that actually happened. So in this town, I know of a Mike Babcock and a Tom Cochran and now Aaron Rodgers with a D.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So you watched the game late. Were you
did.
one of those guys that was saying, don't tell me the score?
I didn't have to. I had my phone basically off, just took a few photos. I saw the odd notification, but it was nothing that spoiled the game for me. So, and nobody was talking about it last night at the CFL Awards, so it was great. I was able to stay sheltered.
All right, we got some more ballers that just showed up here at Ballers. Maybe that's why they have the name. I don't know, to turn some music on in here. It seems so quiet, doesn't it? Although they can hear everything that we say, so that's probably a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Folks, Tell a Miracle 47. The online 50/50 is live now. It's so important. It's raising money for the Kinsman Foundation. This is the 3rd year we've done it. The jackpot's starting at $100,000. The winner, of course, taking half. TellAmiracle5050.com is the website to go right now to buy your tickets. They can be purchased by anyone over the age of 19. They have to be purchased by somebody physically in the province of Saskatchewan. We're going to make the draw Friday, December the 16th. Okay, don't let me down, everybody. Where are we going with Tell a Miracle? Higher! Yes. So it's not as big a crowd as yesterday, but they're into it.
I like that they wanted to knock him down yesterday, right?
Yeah, do a knockdown.
Do a
Bing,
knockdown.
Bing, 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 bing. Yes. I see Gregg Zaun's here. Welcome, Zauni. You look great as always. A Grey Cup veteran right there. He'll be coming up later on in hour 2, the World Series champion. I have written down here NFL Week 11 big games. Yours is already over.
It's over.
So with the Titans winning last night, some of the games that I've written down, the Atlanta Falcons home to the Chicago Bears, because we're on the air, WQEE, hashtag the Big Peach. Dallas Cowboys at Minnesota, that's got to be America's game of the week, I would think. I don't know. And then the San Francisco 49ers take on Arizona in Mexico. So how much will your TV watching be
I'll watch.
split up? Yeah.
And then Grey Cup, but I'm glad you brought up Chicago, Atlanta.
Yeah.
2 teams that aren't jumping off the page as Super Bowl contenders, but they're always in good, entertaining games. Always this year. Always. So that'll be fun. And then obviously Minnesota, Dallas will be a really great game too. That'll be a big NFC slobber knocker. Who's kind of got the edge, the leg up heading towards the playoffs.
It's a big day on Sunday in Week 11 for the National Football League. Tell your friends, start spreading the news. The RP show's live right now on YouTube and Game Plus TV and WQEE. Don the Navy guy writes in, he says, Randy Ambrosie's getting roasted by the fans at the State of the League. He's not getting how frustrated the fans are at the direction of the CFL. Do we want to go down that road today? I'm trying to keep it positive, man. I'm trying to be Mr. Positive. And Reid Johnson from the MarkCast is going to be in that chair coming up next segment. He was at the news conference with the commissioner today. Can I say this before we move on to the next thing? It'll be in my weekend column, but Randy's not the same guy that I met in 2017. He's changed.
Yeah.
I probably changed too. I don't want to fight. I don't like the direction of the CFL. I think I've made that very clear, but I'm not going to sit here and bang on the guy every day. That's not what I'm going to do.
Right.
You saw the quarterback for Toronto came out and roasted him.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with Randy Ambrosie. Everything's great. Everything's great. We're very happy. The future's bright. We've got some great things on the go. Just trust us. Things are going great, and we got great things coming. It's kind of what I heard. I assumed was going to be at the State of the League.
Right. It's just
Everything's great, y'all.
well, and what else are you going to say? Right. It's the
I don't know, some
can.
truth. Honesty would be nice.
No, I know, but
Right, Frank?
it's like when I do the pre-calls for football broadcasts with athletes. And I talk about, how much does this individual award mean to you? How much does that mean to you? And they give me the canned thing. I'm like, no, save that for the press conference, the canned, politically correct answer, and give me the goods. And they say, well, you know what? It actually feels really good to win the award and do this and that, right? You're not going to get the straight goods at a fan league of the address. You're not going to get any real answers.
So my phone's been somewhat going off this morning. Are you following this? I'm like, no. I have no interest in what's being said there because I don't believe any of it. Moving on.
Yeah, it's all scripted.
The warm-up brought to you in part by Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They're hiring now. Find out everything you need to know about Bronco at broncoplumbing.com and our Facebook and Instagram pages. I'm moving on to point 3. What a weekend it is for Winnipeg. Kyle Connor scored thrice in his third, coming under a minute to go to lift the Winnipeg Jets to a 3-2 victory over the Anaheim Ducks in Canada Life Center Thursday night. Connor converted a pass from Mark Scheifele, snapping a shot past Ducks goalie John Gibson for the winner. Connor Hellebuck stopped 29 shots to help the Jets improve to 10-4-1. And in Toronto, Yegor Sharangovich scored 57 seconds into overtime. Vitek Vanacek made 25 saves, and the New Jersey Devils beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-2. All your teams were playing last night, so was it driving you a little crazy to beat the CFL Awards and not able to follow it?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. But you know what? It ended up being a really good night. So they play a lot of games. I'll find another one.
It's interesting you say that.
Yeah.
Because with the Jets now, what I say their record is here, 10-4-1. Deferring to Peter Marr. It's this segment of the season, game 15 to 30, where you really find out what your team is, and the Jets just continue to keep the pedal to the metal. U.S. Thanksgiving is Thursday. They keep this pace up for a week. When does the S word start getting thrown around in Winnipeg? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stanley.
No, it will, and not. They might not be planning the parade route because they already got that mapped out. But they might start thinking
They've
about.
done it.
They might start thinking about. Okay, what pieces do we need if we're going to contend for a cup? What trades are we going to make to try and really, add to our top 6 or our penalty kill or our, bottom pairing defenseman? Right? You'll start looking at that and being like, okay, this isn't just a team that's trying to find their way. It's a team trying to win a cup now and capitalize on that window that we thought was shut, but it's actually still open.
I'm pulling for Winnipeg.
Yeah.
With regards to hockey, I'm going to reserve my prediction and rooting interest till later on in the show.
Okay.
I'll be the Lee Corso of this
All right.
cap. But you think of yours. You come back for the
I got
last
it.
segment, too. We're brought to you in part by Edo Japan. Edo Japan's fast and friendly service plus online ordering options are easy and convenient when you're on the go. And by the way, Ballers RecRoom. Today would be the day to mention it. And Twisted Tea hosting the best party of this week. Tonight, the greatest CFL stars, TSN personalities, Major League Baseball champions are going to be here tonight. Stop into Ballers during the day, pick up your tickets, and we'll see you tonight for the best party during this week. So to point 4, CFL Awards. After a dominant season, Zach Caleros and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers dominated the CFL Awards banquet. Was that a banquet? Did you get fed last night?
Did not get fed.
It's not a banquet. Caleros captured the CFL's Most Outstanding Player Award for a second consecutive year. Bombers' Stanley Bryant was named Lineman of the Year. Receiver Dalton Schoen was named Rookie of the Year. Mike O'Shea was named Coach of the Year for the second consecutive year. Rough Riders returner Mario Alford won the Special Teams Award. BC Lions quarterback Nathan Rourke was named the top Canadian. Lorenzo Molden IV. Doesn't that sound amazing?
Yeah, it does.
Of the Ottawa Red Blacks was named the Defensive Player of the Year. Other winners, Jeff Harbin, CFL's Manager of Officiating, won the Commissioner's Award for Outstanding League Contributions. What do you got?
And might I say the best speech of the night? He was hilarious.
Was it good?
He made a ton
A
of...
funny referee?
Oh, he made all the classic
There's no
referee
such
jokes.
thing.
It was actually really good.
Referees are like cops. They're not funny.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be funny.
He stumbled in his speech. He's like, I forget it. You guys never expect me to be perfect anyways. It was good.
It's 11:11 Central, by the way, so just visualize a positive outcome, Moose, and you'll get one. Retiring BC Lions president Rick Lawlisher won the Hugh Campbell Distinguished Leadership Award. Rough Riders center Dan Clark won the Jake Goddard Veterans Award. Gail Mund, whom I love, she is a rock star. She's the manager of ticketing for the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. She won the Jane Mobby Tribute Award. And Edmonton Elks receiver Emmanuel Arceneaux won the Tom Pate Memorial Award for community contribution. And he's a good dude, too. I'll say something about Gail. You may or may not believe this or know this. You'd believe it once I tell you. When the Rough Riders At one time, the flagship franchise of the CFL moved from the old stadium, Taylor Field. No football stadium in Canada has hosted more pro football games than Taylor Field. Nobody's called more there than me, but I digress. When they moved from Taylor Field to the new stadium, Mosaic Stadium, it was the largest season ticket migration in North American sports history.
Wow.
There was no other team, as I was told, that went from an old stadium to a new stadium with that many season tickets. I think it was 30,000 at that time. Certainly Canadian history. As I sit back and think, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. When they went from Texas Stadium to the new place, it was probably Canada.
Yeah.
Blue Jays hadn't.
Right.
Raptors
Unbelievable.
hadn't. Gail oversaw that. Okay, so she's a rock star, and I love her. So I was very happy when I saw that come across my phone, that she'd won it. By the way, folks, New York Fries is a proud member of the Calgary community, and to give back, they're hosting free public skating opportunities at an ice rink near you in Calgary, open to families and the general public in support of Kids Sport Calgary. Visit FamilySkateYYC.com for a full list of times and locations presented by New York Fries. For the Dub fans, of which we include ourselves, how about this? In Winnipeg last night, Matthew Savoy recorded a hat trick and 3 assists as the Winnipeg Ice out-dueled the Regina Pats 9-5 on Thursday at the Ice Cave. This is reminding me of something. I'm not quick enough on my feet to think of what it's reminding me of, but I was sent by our buddy Brian, the cop in Fort Lauderdale, the video of Bedard's goal last night.
10 seconds in?
Yeah.
Unreal.
And
How
so
about that?
Brian's not a Pats fan. He's a Bedard fan. But it's reminding me of that whole, it's like the Leafs. It's like the Leafs.
Yeah.
Austin Matthews scored. Matthews scored. But you lost. Doesn't matter. Austin scored. That's where we're with Bedard.
Yeah. I know.
You gave up 4 goals in the third period. Doesn't matter. Connor scored. He's on the highlights.
I know.
What are we doing here?
I know. Our guy's better than yours.
It's like the Democrats in the midterms. We didn't get swept. You got your ass kicked.
But we still got the president.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for now. In theaters November 23rd, Devotion, an aerial war epic based on the best-selling book of the same name, tells the harrowing true story of 2 elite U.S. Navy fighter pilots during the Korean War. Their heroic sacrifices would ultimately make them the Navy's most celebrated wingmen. You servicemen and women are going to love that, and everybody else, too, should go. Devotion in theaters November 23rd, Landmark Cinemas. Lastly, Deal or No Deal, Moose, the final one of the CFL season.
Let's go.
Toronto Argonauts versus the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. If you've heard, in the Grey Cup champion, the 109th Grey Cup, Sunday, Bombers are favored by 5.5 points. Deal or No Deal?
Bombers favored by 5.
Yeah, it's swelled. 5.5. Deal or no deal?
What are you doing?
I'm cheering. No. I told you I'm saving it.
I know, and I thought I was going to save mine too. Can we save it for OT?
How do you keep a monkey in suspense? We'll tell you in overtime. Nice work, Moose.
Thank you.
Well, we got out of this ahead of time. When we come back, we'll be talking CFL football, NFL football, alternative football, as he likes to call it. Reid Johnson of the MarkCast. On the way, Gregg, Zaun, Dave Patrician, who else? Candid Frank, whoever else wants to come on the air, we'll put them on. Live from Ballers RecRoom, from the 109th Grey Cup on Game Plus TV, YouTube, and the Big Peach, the Key, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might injure your back in a way that causes nerve damage or partial loss of mobility. Take safer steps with WorkSafeSask.ca.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might hit your head and cause a lifelong injury. Take safer steps. Learn more at WorkSafeSask.ca.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to RodPetersonShop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at RodPetersonShop.com.
That beautiful blue sky, site of the biggest party of the week here tonight. Ballers RecRoom, presented by Twisted Tea, the biggest Canadian Football League stars, television, sports personalities, and all the rest. Major League Baseball champions. Gregg Zaun's going to be here, the World Series champ for the Florida Marlins. That's all tonight. Stop in at Ballers and pick up your tickets. If you can, ahead of time, we will see you here. Okay, well, I'm excited to welcome to the program, and you've been on before via video, right?
Via video.
Yeah. Reid Johnson's here from the MarkCast out of Seattle. And this is your first Grey Cup.
Second, we were in Hamilton last year.
Oh, did you go?
Yeah,
I apologize for that.
No, that's okay. Yeah. But I think a lot of people didn't think that we would be back. And so I said,
why?
Well, you know, they said it's like you go do it once, you prove everyone wrong. Because, you know, we had a lot of like, who are you? Why are you covering the CFL? All that stuff. But, we came last year, met everybody. So this year it's been great because now we know.
You know everybody.
We know everybody.
Your old friend. Well, that's certainly the CFL community for sure. But, I mean, last year there was a bit of a snafu with us and this show. And I said, I'm just going to stay in Florida. And that will be my Grey Cup plans watching this Sunday as well. But I want, so we do have some breaking news. This just came out of the Commissioner's News Conference moments ago, or State of the League, whatever they're calling it. He told the fans they're going to move the playoffs beginning next season to Saturday. So, because they've been Sundays for 100 years, but 1 year, 2008. So that's the breaking news. You're laughing already.
Well, I tweeted a couple weeks ago, I think they should do that. I mean, you avoid the NFL all year, right? And then once it comes to the playoffs, you're going to compete with, you got Bills, Chiefs, or whatever. You got, Alouettes going up against that. It's not really as intriguing to a lot of. If you're trying to get new fans in there, you're asking people to choose one or the other, and that's difficult to do.
For sure. But you're a born and bred American. Born and bred Seattlean. What do they call yourselves? Seattleans?
Yes. Seattleites.
Seattleites.
Yes.
There was a great band in the Georgia Seattleites.
Well, there you go.
I'm joking. Do we want to start on the moving? Well, let me back. It's blown my mind that they would do that because we did it 1 year in 2008. That was when I was in the league and we played the BC Lions here. We got our butts kicked and the television ratings went on that Saturday. Do you know what I mean? And then they went back to Sunday the next year. So why would you change now? And it's just sort of a CFL thing. It seems just a little hokey because you're going to move your games semifinal weekend, final weekend to Saturday, but still have the Grey Cup on Sunday? It's still confusing.
It's confusing. I mean, I get you want to do that whole week, the Grey Cup week and all that. But to me, it is, hey, we don't want to compete. We're moving this. We want to keep it separate. Absolutely. I mean, there's no other reason to do it.
This is interesting, by the way. Phil Kershaw is watching in Victoria, BC, former chairman of the Canadian Football League, and he says Reid has done more to promote the CFL in the United States than any other American commentator. Kudos. That's from Phil. And that's a fact, but I guess you don't really sit and think about that, do you?
No, that's good. I appreciate that. We work hard. It's a passion of love.
Yeah, right. There's a lot of comments coming in from viewers here. Craig in Calgary says, great to see Reid again. What are his impressions of the Queen City compared to the Hammer? Because he was in Hamilton last year.
Very cold. We're from Seattle, so it's a good 35, 40 degrees colder here than it was. I think it was 2 degrees Fahrenheit here last night, which is we're sitting about 38 right now. But it's good. I bought my wife Dorothy, who's here with me, bought a lot of clothes on Amazon to come here.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, you have that automatic 25-cent exchange. You could have bought Grey Cup gear, and you still can. So I'm trying to process this moving the playoff games to Saturday. Let me walk back to where I wanted to start with you. You were at the commissioner's news conference. This is different. He did 2 events this morning. One was with the media, one's with the fans. How did the media one go?
I was surprised not as many people were there. That was my biggest takeaway. And I had even posted photos of it, and I got tweets back like, wow, that's really the only Canadian media that are there. I think there was a lot of decisions this year, like post-media and otherwise, not to send people. But I was just surprised. Last year when we walked in, it was like standing room only. You couldn't even get in the door. This time, plenty of seats. I was surprised with how few people were there covering it.
So that's the start. That was your first thing.
Yeah.
And what else?
Ambrosie's been on our show, the commissioner. He is great, but I've been heard he's kind of a tough nut to crack, right? I mean, I thought we had a good conversation, but not a lot of answers given, a lot of questions about, American TV ratings, are we doing suspension stuff, what's happening with the CFL fan vote, what happened with that. I thought Jeff Hamilton had a really good question about that. Like, Brandy, what actually happened with that? Can we just get some answers? Because that's the point of the State of the League address for the media is to actually get some answers. So he didn't have a lot to say. Said maybe an American TV deal announcement's coming soon. I think they could do a lot more to promote the game in America than they're doing.
They aren't doing any in America.
No.
I spent half my time there.
No. And the ratings, they'll get 86, 100,000 viewers with literally zero promotion at all on, ESPN2 or ESPN News, where you have to have 2 different subscriptions to get. It's really hard to be a CFL fan in America. It's really hard to get.
Fair, but I got ESPN Plus in Florida, and I watch every game.
Yeah.
So, but I know what I'm looking for. As somebody said, my friend in Aired Reek, Kevin the Medium, he's probably watching right now. As a matter of fact, he says he has. He says he's watching. He goes, as far as CFL news living in Calgary, and he's a BC Lions fan, he goes, I need to go searching it out.
Yeah.
You would get this in America. The NFL is just in your face, in your face, in your face, in your face. And it's CFL in this country is not. And by the way, you talk about more media in Hamilton last year as opposed to Regina here. It's 58 kilometers from Toronto, which is the New York of Canada. So they just would have all driven down there. But the CFL media, the state right now is not what it was. Let's go back to 1995, the first time this city hosted the Grey Cup. It was banging. It was Super Bowl worthy numbers. Those rooms were bursting at the seams with everything. Fans, media, all the rest. And I think COVID probably took a big of a ding out of this league. Did you sense that?
Yeah, we were even talking before the show how, finding hotels here, we had heard all this kerfuffle, we can't find anything. We're in the media wing, but it certainly doesn't seem like there was any trouble. We were on the plane with someone that said they were able to book a ticket once teams canceled and stuff. It doesn't seem like it's that, sold out across the board, that it maybe felt like they wanted it to be.
Yeah. So Reid and I got acquainted with each other during the canceled CFL season. And it was all started by Randy Ambrosie's XFL talks. And listen, I've had multiple conversations with Randy Ambrosie one-on-one. We've gone for coffee together. And frankly, I quite like the man in 2017. 5 years later, he's changed. I feel like he's not the same guy. He hasn't been on this show in a couple of years. And to be honest, I really wanted to partner with the XFL. I was a fan of the CFL in the 90s. We've talked about that. I loved when Birmingham came to town, and Sacramento came to town, and San Antonio came to town, and Memphis and Baltimore. It was awesome. Why can't we do that again? They don't want to do that. And I just kind of, and I still think that was just a ruse thrown out there to distract us with the fact that they've canceled. We're going to cancel the season.
I think it was both, because I think the XFL still, we're kicking off in February this year now, still haven't kicked off since all that happened. They still don't have a Las Vegas venue for that franchise. And I think part of the CFL, I think it was a mutual beneficial, like CFL, we can distract from, the COVID season and all that. And XFL, it's like, well, now we can buy ourselves some more time, because I really don't think they would have been ready to go last February, which was originally the plan.
Well, but again, I think Randy for the distraction, because you and I met that way, and we got each other's cell numbers, and you go to where did you go? It was the USFL kickoff.
Yep.
You were sending me photos from there and stuff, so I'm very grateful for that. But I sit and wonder, how serious were they, or will they ever be with this?
He was asked today, like, do you have an end date for your tenure? And he said, no. Like,
it's not up to him.
I'm happy to serve as long as the board will have me.
He'd be the last to know. Sorry to say. It's how it works, man. I've covered this league since 1991. I'm sorry, there are a ton of great comments coming in here. Jennifer from the Four Seasons, which incidentally you're going to have to check out before you go. Best boneless Greek ribs on the planet. Jennifer says, I just found out yesterday I can stream TSN on my phone from my TV subscription. Don't judge me. Thanks to George Y., the Greek freak, for showing me. There's no dumb questions, as they say, Jennifer. I'm glad that you found it. Kevin the Median this morning, we were driving around. I was talking to him on the phone, and I said, the commissioner's speaking right now. And he goes, well, it'd be nice to watch it somewhere. And I said, well, I got a notification from TSN that I could watch it on the stream. I'm just not interested, I'm sorry, in what Randy has to say, which I'm not. I love him, but I didn't think there was going to be anything substantial come out. And frankly, from a media perspective, don't you think he should have saved we're moving the playoff games to Saturday with the media was there, as opposed to the fans?
Well, that's why I saw this tweet before I came up. Like, did I miss something?
Thank God you saw it, yeah.
Well, I said, but we were just there. You had every media member, that wanted to come there. And, that was the big, I guess, being hosted there with the fan one. But I was curious that someone must have asked about it to bring that up, right?
Who knows? We'll find out more over the next 24 hours, obviously. From my cousin Christine in Medicine Hat. She says Ambrosi has blinders on. He needs to see the reality of empty seats. All of that. I like him as a man, but he's changed. And I used to believe what he says. I don't anymore. And I just think he's speaking on behalf of the owners that are... This league's disintegrating in front of our eyes. Okay, read my weekend column. We don't have a national, from what I understand, radio broadcast for the first time in 100 yeyears. There's no national radio broadcast of the Grey Cup. Does that sound right to you? No. Can you believe it?
It's weird. It is weird coming into this, because I'm like a total outsider, right? I mean, we started covering this stuff 2 years ago, and you're like, okay, it's interesting, but it's the best league. Like, the people that cover it, Dorothy and I, we were walking here saying, like, everyone around the league loves it and takes it so seriously, right? Like, it is some of the best reporters covering it, right? Asking these questions. But there just seems to be a disconnect there that they just don't. They want this to be so much more than it feels like it is sometimes.
We are here to talk CFL, but there are some XFL questions. James in Borden, Manitoba watching. He says, I watch the MarkCast every week. I love hearing what Americans think about our league. Great podcast. From Don, our Navy friend. Just wish Randy'd be honest once in a while. Hello, bingo, from Dan in Saskatoon. I haven't dug into the XFL draft yet. Were there any surprise names or names of note selected?
So we did an 8.5-hour draft live stream on Wednesday, quite the day for that. It's exciting. It's a lot of guys from the USFL. That was kind of the big takeaway. Not a ton of CFL, more people that have kind of bounced around from XFL 2020. No one that you would be like, oh my God, like we got to sign him up. Some of the quarterbacks a little bit, but they're really focusing on developing talent. I mean, even when Bo Levi Mitchell, they're like, oh, is he coming down doing the XFL? Like, they don't want to pay up for that. They want to develop from the ground up. They want want to find guys like Taylor Heineke now, that's my team, the Washington Commanders, playing. I mean, he was the backup for the Battlehawks in 2020. He didn't even touch the field. That is the people they're trying to cultivate now, not, oh, we're going to bring in Josh Gordon or Johnny Manziel or, the people still ask about Kirkpatrick, Colin Kaepernick.
The bar flies in Winnipeg, as the name says. Has bomber dominance actually hurt the CFL? No, it hasn't. It's a great story. They were terrible for 30 years, and if they go for the three-peat, I'll be the happiest guy. They call it, you're calling it alternative football.
Yes.
I think you're like the only guy. I might jump on that train with you.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I get yelled at by CFL people, though. They're like, this isn't an alternative football. It's like, it's not the NFL. We cover everything non-NFL. It is alternative football to 98% of the world.
Okay, I've just changed in my mind here. I'm switched gears on this question. No. Why are CFL fans triggered so much?
They're very triggered. I get gate. I call it like gate checking, right? Like I got into some. Oh, when we were talking about the Blue Bombers tweeting online, and because they were making fun of the BC Lions. Oh, it's so cold here, and I'm like, you guys are the most dominant franchise in decades. Like, why are we making it about being cold? Let's talk about the football. All these people. Well, you don't even know because the stamps in 1998. I'm like, I don't care. Like, it doesn't like. You're allowed to just enjoy and watch the game. Just because I don't know the last 45 years of history of the Blue Bombers doesn't mean I can't come and enjoy the game.
Or have an opinion.
Yeah, but it seems like there is a disconnect. Like, unless you've had season tickets for 87 years, I don't want to hear from you. Okay.
I know. But I love hearing from you. And I think you're great. And I'm not just saying it because you're here. You know that. So welcome. Thanks for coming on, and enjoy it for all that it is.
Thank you.
And keep in touch. Reid Johnson from the MarkCast. I'm not sure who's next, but I know it'll be great. We'll be right back on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Gregg Resort and Casino.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might fracture your wrist, resulting in a lifetime of painful arthritis. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Hell yes. Hoorah!
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming. The Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might injure your back, resulting in partial loss of mobility. Take safer steps. Find out more at WorkSafeSask.ca.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
We are live on the RP Show here, 109th Grey Cup week. And by the way, just before we jump into more Grey Cup talk with our good friend David Patrician, sports update: Canada has gotten off to a rough start in its rivalry series against the U.S. Women's hockey suffering a 2-1 loss in Kamloops, BC Thursday night. It was the second straight loss for Canada, who suffered a 4-3 shootout loss on Tuesday in the opener of the 7-game series. Aaron Judge of the Yankees in the American League and St. Louis Cardinals slugger Paul Goldschmidt of the NL both were named MVPs Thursday after hitting 62 home runs this season to break the AL record. Judge easily beat out Los Angeles Angels two-way phenom Shohei Ohtani in an MVP race. Thought by many would be close. It wasn't. The sports update for Ito Japan. Their fast and friendly service plus online ordering options are easy and convenient when you're on the go. Our good and longtime friend, Grey Cup veteran David Patrician joins us, the sports doctor. How you doing,
about that?
David? Welcome.
I'm just so honored to be here.
We're honored to have you.
And I think about this, and we were just talking off the air. I think about what an ambassador you are to the Canadian Football League, an ambassador to the city of Regina and the province of Saskatchewan.
Thank you, Dave.
And you keep coming back here, and I know all the circumstances around, and I don't think you get treated as much respect as you should in your home city.
That's nice of you to say that. Thank you, Dave. Thank you. How many have you counted Grey Cups? How many for you?
Well, I lose track of a whole bunch, probably like you did in the celebratory years. But I believe this may be number 15. But I'm not recalling. I know 91 was my first one because that was the first one in Winnipeg. And then my second one was 1995 in Regina, which probably still is the greatest Grey Cup moments because of the way the community handled the Grey Cup in 1995. And then I've been to every appearance, from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers after that. And, of course, Calgary in 2019 has to be one of the great highlights. We were together in Ottawa for the.
They're all great.
I call that the Shania Twain Grey Cup.
2017.
Yeah, that was
Snow
fantastic.
Globe.
Yep. And then there's the Justin Bieber one. And I base it around the different bands I've watched, right, in this one. So it's so exciting to be back in a Grey Cup town. And Regina, they do put on a great party for all their little faults.
Yeah. Bomber fan here. Well, by the way, I've never had more photos taken in my life. I was one of the new NHL on ESPN hosts was saying how she was taken aback how many people take her photo when she's doing NHL games. I'm like, you better get used to it, my dear, because that's part of the gig.
Well, how old is she? Because, 20 years ago, nobody carried a camera around their neck unless you were a tourist. Now everybody has a camera in their hand.
Yeah. So you're going to stay for 2 segments, if that's okay here? Because we have a lot to get through. So the big news that dropped this morning is that the CFL is moving its playoff games from Sunday to Saturday by the commissioner in his State of the Fans address literally moments ago. Wayne in Victoria, BC is watching. He says, does it really make that much difference having the playoffs on Saturday instead of Sunday? Wayne, we're going to explain it to you why. David, by the way, asked me, what's the deal with Atlanta and why do they like our show so much? And I
didn't say it like that.
I'm like, I don't get it either. But they do, right, Ryan on radio? And we get mail from listeners, and they love this because they love football, right? And they dang sure love hockey, and you stole their team in Winnipeg, the Thrashers. But they follow very closely. My point being to sit and talk about playoff football is a conversation that involves football fans all across the continent. Because you got your high school football Friday night, college football Saturday, which is obviously massive. Go Dogs, number one. Why would the CFL do this?
We just talked about this off the air, and I can't repeat what I told you. Like, why?
I forgot it already.
Why do they keep screwing around? Why do we have this inferiority complex? It is tradition. We got almost 31,000 people to Winnipeg for the Western Final last week. None of those people were watching NFL. Obviously, this is driven by the television partner because they think they because auto racing might not get the same ratings as CFL game on a Saturday, and everybody knows that. The greatest thing about and I love watching TSN, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to knock them, but I have one major criticism about that partnership. Why is the Super Bowl on CTV, but why is the Grey Cup just on TSN? Why aren't we on the national coast-to-coast network? Why isn't the Super Bowl, the Grey Cup, held in that same regard as the Super Bowl in the eyes of in Canada? And then why do we keep screwing around? We've tried this before. I remember there was times before where they had that. And maybe, if you want to keep one game at prime time on Sunday and put one game on prime time on Saturday, that'd be great. That's not a bad idea because maybe there would maybe generate a little bit more interest. But you can't tell me, looking at the different crowds, that was the largest crowd of the year for the Eastern Final in Toronto, and we're a league that's determined on a lot of the success is determined on live gates, and the ratings are good, right? The ratings are good. What are you going to watch? You going to watch Jacksonville and Baltimore, or do you want to watch Toronto versus Montreal?
See, Dave, that's why I have you on the air. You're smart, not just good looking.
Thank you.
You brought up that Argo crowd. It was the biggest crowd of the year. It was a great crowd. I was watching it wherever I was. Oh, with my brother at the farm, and we're like, what a great crowd in Toronto. So. You got some splaining to do, Randy. Why would you go switch it now if the biggest crowd of the year was a Sunday in the biggest city in the league?
I think there's other problems to fix, too. Like, why are the Argos playing on a Monday, July 4th, the 4th of July? Like, I mean, we talk about that. I was on KISS Radio in Toronto talking about that. I'm sure Toronto's people like to think they're Americans, and Winnipeg went in there and kicked their butt on their 4th of July.
I thought it was a great fit, to be honest.
But it's just weird that we just stick to what we know the best. You know what? I don't mind when they talk about rule tinkering if it doesn't affect our game. We have a unique game. We have a different game. We are not the National Football League. And all the bells and whistles, all the Grey Cup parties that are on Sundays. What's next? Oh, we're gonna think about changing when the Grey Cup game is? Yeah, they did. It used to be in the afternoon, which made for a great party thing. But now it's prime time, and we know television dictates that. But stop it. Stop it. Pump out your chest, Randy Ambrosi, and go,
we're great.
We were great, and we're steeped in tradition. And I don't know where this is driving. Like, we don't want 4-down football. We don't want the smaller field. We want the Canadian game.
You really love Matt Dunnigan, don't you? I was telling you before the show that your Winnipeg friends have welcomed me all in. And
Yes.
by name, Matt Dunnigan, Mike Kelly, there are others. I brought up the idea of U.S. expansion, and Matt was like, no. Unless he's acting, but Matt's a pretty real guy, right?
Did he play Birmingham, or did he play at Birmingham?
Birmingham, but he lived in Valdosta, Georgia for 7 years. And he goes, no, I think we need to expand in Canada to the mid-level size cities, not expand to the States. And I'm sort of like, why can't we do both? I just want a bigger league, more teams.
The business model is tough, right? And because I know people criticize Randy, they criticize the league about why aren't we way out east? Well, you have to find an owner and you have to find a building. I mean, and that's the whole thing. I mean, I don't think it's that expensive to get into that, but you don't make a lot of money in the current economic situations with that. And look how hard the guy in BC tried, the new owner. He drew well this year, spent a lot of money. Calgary, they announced the attendance of what they are. There's thousands and thousands of empty seats. Edmonton's a dog's breakfast right now. Winnipeg, it works. Regina, it works. Hamilton, it works. Ottawa's starting to falter. You see a lot of empty seats there. Montreal can come up again. I think, though, there is a great amateur football scene, college football, high school football scene in Quebec. But I don't know what to do with the Toronto Argonauts, and you need to have a team there to attract national advertisers. So I am speaking out of both sides of my mouth, but you have to be conscious of what your advertisers want and conscious what your partners want. But it's got to work. They got to make it work.
Yeah, well, they got some problems, some struggles right now. Thank you, Ryan O'Radio. I told you about Ryan O'Neill's he's watching but running the show on WQEE. And he says, that is correct, RP. They just like what we talk about down there in Atlanta. I can't explain it. It's a God shot, dude. You stick around one more segment?
Absolutely.
Okay. The best party of this particular week is right here at Ballers, by the way. Come on down and pick up your tickets. All the CFL stars, the TSN personalities, World Series champions going to be here tonight, and my family. We'll be right back on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might injure your knee, leading to joint damage or even a permanent disability. Take safer steps with WorkSafeSask.ca.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Golf, Hawaii, and the Four Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
This is it. The 109th Grey Cup will be contested on Sunday between the Toronto Argonauts and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And this is, Dave Patricia's with us, the sports doctor. You said your 15th or 16th Grey Cup?
I've kind of lost count, but I'm calling this one number 15.
Okay, 21st for me. So we've been to a lot of these. And I know that by the Friday, we're still not even really talking about the game. We're talking about all the other stuff, which is fun. That's what you would want. Got a viewer listener in Canton, Georgia, Mark Hodge. Thank you, Mark, for listening and writing in. He's listening on WQEE. Says, I watched your commissioner this morning. What a disaster. Word salad answers, clear lack of leadership. Dougal
Spicy.
in Calgary, I don't know what's going on. He sent me something here, but I can't open it. It just basically said it was bad. From the plain and simple worst commissioner ever. I hate that we're sitting here having to talk about stuff like this. Now, does Goodell, you're a Viking season ticket holder.
Yes.
Right? Does Goodell go through this?
I don't think so. I think
How do you criticize them, really? How could you?
I mean, they have been criticizing, but that's mostly about hiring practice and weird stuff. But, embrace this. And we talked about this during the last segment. Like, Canada has a great thing going, the Grey Cup. Where else can you connect with friends? Like here, like yesterday, we walked into the Four Seasons to see George. There's people on your recommendation having the dry ribs in there. And we're going to go to places. We're going to see people that I didn't even know come to Grey Cup because they show up in the town. And it's people that I haven't seen, maybe I haven't seen in years and stuff. It's such a part of Canadian culture that let's just keep embracing this thing. And I don't know what the advantage of changing a day of a playoff game is. I do not know what an advantage in life that would be.
Well, what would they call that? Rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic? That would be, there's bigger things they need to do. Anyways, from our viewers, less. Actually, I was telling my guy, Kevin, the medium, this morning. Les writes in and he says, speaking of expansion, any idea what's up with the Schooners? That's where I officially jumped off the Ambrosie train. This year's Touchdown Atlantic between Saskatchewan and Toronto, because he had us all revved up at the news conference for Touchdown Atlantic. We're closer than ever to have a team, and they want us out here, and it's great. Oh, okay, cool. I was kind of leery of it, but Randy's saying so. And then the game comes, and as you know, Gary Drummond, the guy leading that Schooners thing, says, I'm not even going to the game because that would make people think that we're even close to having a team, and we're not even talking. There's nothing. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm out.
And again, that probably goes down to a lack of confidence in the league because someone should step up. We know it costs money. We know it costs money to build a stadium, but there's lots of partnerships. Look at the partnership that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers did with the University of Manitoba and the province of Manitoba. We've got a beautiful stadium. The facility is used for the University of Manitoba Bisons. It's used for high school football. Of course, there's fees involved. It's not just a picnic, right? But, I mean, that is a community-owned. So you could put something at 20,000 seats in there in one of those great university towns in the eastern part of Canada, and you can get it done. Maybe someone finally starts up. Maybe there's a big sponsor in the league say, we need a couple $1 million. We need some help over there. Naming rights, all this stuff. Get it done. Just somebody get it done.
Allie in Edmonton, or specifically Sherwood Park, Alberta, writes in. He says, happy CFL Grey Cup Friday. I'm enjoying the show. We are cheering for pinball and Josh Haggerty in the game. Your CFL party at Ballers sounds like it will be awesome. Our parties are always awesome, right, David? Always.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Rob in Cold Lake, Alberta. Hi, Rod. Oh, why does this keep popping out? Folks seem to like the way the NFL does things, so why doesn't the CFL go get someone from down south to do things in a bigger, better way? Whatever that is. Last minute of play in hour one. I don't know. I get what he's saying. A celebrity endorser. Look at all the Ryan Reynolds talk, him buying the Ottawa Senators.
That was crazy. Yeah.
Maybe, I heard that, I don't know. Yeah. Kurt Russell's going to buy the Blue Bombers.
I read this fascinating book.
Kurt Russell. Look it up, kids.
Yeah. I read this fascinating book on when John Candy and Wayne Gretzky and Bruce McNall, I don't remember the title of it, but it was just to talk the trials and tribulations of how they kind of stuck their neck out. We all know our thoughts on Bruce McNall, but Gretzky and Candy, they were great partners, and they took that team all the way to the Grey Cup in 1991, which was in Winnipeg. It's a fascinating read. But again, there were so many different factors working against those guys that they like some of the other...
And it worked.
But it worked there, but then they all bailed out because the fans didn't support it. But I mean, like,
we're out of time. We're out of time, buddy. Enjoy your Grey Cupping.
Thank you.
We'll see you tonight.
Absolutely.
All right, next hour, Gregg, Zaun, and gosh knows who else. Stick around here on Game Plus and WQEE.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might injure your back in a way that causes nerve damage or partial loss of mobility. Take safer steps with WorkSafeSask.ca.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
And we were on the road with the Rough Riders. Joe Womack was our strength coach, and he was rooming with Ron Estee. I'm coming down the elevator with Joe Womack, and he is so mad. And I'm like, what's wrong, Joe? And he goes, you wouldn't believe what Estee did. He's in his underwear, and he emptied the minibar. Smarties and the Kit Kats, thinking it's free, thinking it was a gift basket. And Joe looks at me, it ain't fun.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Gotta love those classic stories. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hour 2 of the RP Show. We're coming at you live on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and on the radio. Hey, Tristan, good to see you. WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, down there in Noonan, Georgia. Let's bring him in right now. You pull that mic right up to you, Zaun. You know how to use a microphone, man?
Yeah,
You've only been on the air a few times.
remember.
Here he is, World Series champion. How about a hand for Gregg Zaun, everybody? You're a good friend. Come all the way in here from Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
You got a nice tan from Cleveland. It's been hot down there? What?
It was real hot till...
Is that right?
This week. I played golf last Friday in short sleeves. And then it just got cold and started dumping.
This guy is what did I see on the poster? Grey Cup legend, CFL lover, Gregg Zaun, 16-year major leaguer, World Series champion. Now, I see you got your Marlins World Series ring on. The camera's right here. You can hold that. What's the other one?
That's my wedding ring.
Oh, nice. But a lot of diamonds in that thing.
Yeah, so I've done it 3 times because I just can't get enough of...
Getting married 3 times.
Yeah, I've been married 3 times. I just can't get enough of writing those 7-figure divorce checks. So I made this one to look like my championship ring, and I figured if she leaves me, she won't take it in a divorce. So
smart, you're figuring it
got
out.
A big old Z right in the middle of it, so she's not going to want it.
Good for you, man. Hey, so they're so excited that you're here, as you can see. So before we go any further, we got CFL stuff to get to. The commissioner today announcing at his State of the League address that they're moving playoff games from Sunday to Saturday. It's got everybody all hot and bothered. Let's not forget there is a game on Sunday. Yeah. The Toronto Argonauts will take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And Bet Regal has the Bombers favored by 5.5. Right, Allie? Yeah, so we'll decide if we're taking the deal on that or not. We're saving that to the final segment. And we got more CFL guests coming up this hour. Enough of all that. Can you tell our viewers, Zani, why you, a World Series champion from Los Angeles, California, would love the Grey Cup and the Canadian Football League?
I just absolutely adore it. So Jamie Campbell, my old broadcast partner, he brought me to Calgary in 2009, and we never even got to our seats. And I've hosted Super Bowl parties with, actresses and stuff, like all that fancy, wait in line for 100 years. So he brings me to Calgary in 2009, and we're staying in the hotel where Spirit of Edmonton is, and we walk by the front of the line, and the guy that's running security for Spirit of Edmonton, he looks at me and he goes, "Holy smokes, it's Gregg Zaun." And then Jamie comes right behind me. He goes, "Holy smokes, it's Gregg Zaun and Jamie Campbell." And so he starts chatting us up, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, we're going to go right into this party. We're not waiting in line. So then I said to him, I go, "Hey dude, how do we get in?" He goes, "Back of the line's over there."
You loved it.
Absolutely instant. And then I get to the back of the line with Jamie, and CFL fans start just feeding me beers, and everybody just welcomed me. They looked at me like I was crazy because I'm from California and I want to be a part of it. We went to the stadium on Sunday. We walked in the door. We never made it to our seats, Roddy. Rider Nation. I turn around and there's this like 6'9" Gene Simmons looking dude. He's dressed up in Kelly Green, but he's Gene Simmons. And they just kept talking to us, buying us beers. The next year, the Riders found out that I was there. They sent me a jersey.
What year? 2009.
2009 and then 2010, and then 10.
That's when it really got off the hook.
Oh yeah. Well, I was there for the 13th man game because I had left the game early.
For our American viewer, I'm sorry, by the way, but Mark Hodge has written back from Canton, Georgia, and he says, "I love the show, friend. I listen daily. Keep up the awesome work." So we're reintroducing everybody to our new listeners, as you know. Sorry, down on WQEE and on Game Plus Television. Continue, Edmonton.
Yeah, so they take me. I go to Calgary, and then the next year we go to Edmonton, and it's basically the same repeat, same game, same two teams, right? They're there for the 13th man game. I left the game early to go get the beers iced down for the after party. And of course, wah, wah, wah.
We lost the game on the last play.
Yeah.
We had it won, and I was the voice of the team for 20 years.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Continue. I hope you don't mind me sprinkling in commentary.
I absolutely don't, because if you don't, I'll just dominate the segment.
Continue. So we go to Edmonton for the rematch.
Yeah, we go to Edmonton for the rematch, and I started greasing the tracks right away. Like day after Grey Cup 2009, I started schmoozing with the GM of the hotel in Edmonton, started sending her flowers on a regular basis, and she hooked me up with the presidential suite.
The Westin, right?
Yeah. It was fantastic. We had two king suites bookend in this giant party room, and everybody in the hotel just came to our place after Spirit of Edmonton every night, and I met people that I'm still friends with. Like I call the one gal, my friend Rhonda. I call her my Grey Cup wife, because every time I come to Grey Cup, her and I just like pal around.
So for those that just tuned in, I'll say it again. He's a baseball player, partying at Grey Cup, and I heard this story because I never went to your parties till a few years after that. Yeah. I was busy. My team was in it.
Yeah.
But I'd heard that, Zaun, you had a box of bats, and that was the party favor. You'd sign bats to everybody on their way out.
Yeah, I brought bobbleheads to this party.
Do you think that was a good idea to hand out baseball bats at a Grey Cup party?
You know what, Roddy? I've regretted a few things I've done and said here at Grey Cup, but yeah, that was probably a bad idea. Giving away baseball bats to,
I mean, you didn't get in any trouble.
No. In fact,
I'm
really proud. I'm really proud of the CFL fans for not doing anything bad with my baseball bats.
Yeah.
But yeah, we always try to hand out a party favor, make it memorable. I always had people sign the guest book. We put a guest book together for our suite party. And then I started doing like charity stuff with. I mean, I Dallas Smith one year. Aaron Pritchett played for me a couple of times.
That's when I started going.
I tried to leave money wherever we were. Tried to raise some money for Children's Hospital or something. Do something more productive than come and get drunk for 4 days.
Right.
So it turned out, and I met a ton of great people here, and it never ceases to amaze me. I come back and people wrap their arms around me, and so I just think it's the thing.
They love you.
I love the party.
Well,
It's
I will
a great
say
time.
this: I got to get because I'm 6 months in America, 6 months in Canada, and I never know between Fahrenheit and Celsius, but I can tell you in 2013 when it was here, it was minus 52 Celsius, and I kind of wonder what's wrong with you. That you just dive into this head first.
Well, you know what I did that year? I had Kelly Green Carhartts made, and I had the Riders old school logo put on the back of it. The one that kind of looks like the Sheridan logo.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I put
Or Safeway.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I had a party of probably 6 people, including Jamie Campbell and 4 other gal pals of ours. They all came to Regina, and we all rolled to the game in those Kelly Green Carhartts. So we were kind of toasty. We were,
that's good.
We were plenty warm.
Good.
And there may have been a flask or 2 strapped to our female guests because they weren't going to get frisked.
It's the inevitable comparison. Some like it, some don't. But because you're an American raised in Los Angeles, and you said you've been to Super Bowls.
I've hosted parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it so different? Is it the people? Is it the leagues? Is it the countries? What is it?
No, it's different because here it's all about inclusiveness. I mean, they sent me to the back of the line. Everybody's the same. I think it's great. But you go like when I was at hosting Super Bowl party, there's a line around the corner, and if you're not on the list, you're not getting in it. Here, it's just show up. Everybody gets to go wherever they want to go. Riderville, Spirit of Edmonton, Calgary party. Bombers, everybody just comes and they go. And the other thing that's really cool about this party is everybody's teams are represented by the fans. They just come to be a part of it. I mean, they do that at the Super Bowl too, but a lot of times people aren't going to show up if their team's not in the game. They're not coming. But Rider Nation's going to be represented no matter where the Grey Cup is and whether or not they're in the game or not. So I just find that fascinating. I think it's one of those things that it's very warm and welcoming, and it's just great.
It's incredibly unique for sure. It's from the breaking news today, the commissioner of the CFL announcing they're going to move their playoff games from Sundays to Saturdays beginning next year. And I feel like, maybe I'll get into that with our next guest when Cliffy D. Pine's here from Montreal and the Flight Deck podcast. But Wayne in Victoria, BC says, why is it a big deal if they move from Sunday to Saturday? It's a big deal, not to you, Wayne, because you're going to watch no matter what. But you worked in network television for a long time. It's not a small move.
No, it's not. It's a huge move.
You're going to watch it no matter what, Wayne, but we're not talking about you.
It's money. It's what it is. It's about money. I mean, look at the way the playoffs and the World Series in Major League Baseball have changed over the years. Like back when I was a kid, you had best of 5. It was 2, day off for travel, and then you go. It's like, but now they make all these days off, extra days off in Major League Baseball playoffs and World Series because they want to see that marquee matchup. They want the number 1 guy. They want Verlander to be able to pitch as many times as he possibly can so that more people tune into those games. And that's where they build in all the days off. And the CFL's not stupid. They want to make money just like everybody else. They're gonna build it so it makes more sense, and they have less competition for the eyeballs from the NFL, even from U.S. colleges. You want to be able to put your product on television and have people actually tune in. So to me, it makes all the sense in the world.
The thing is, though, this was just a little before your CFL fandom. 2008, we did it for 1 year. I was in the league. And actually, I looked this up earlier. You'll love this old CFL story. We have the BC Lions here, Western semifinal. We're playing on a Saturday. For the first time in 100 years, we're going to play a Saturday game. I'm like you. I'm a broadcaster. You're a player. We don't care what day it is.
Right.
Which I didn't. They kicked our ass 33-12 that day. And on the last play of the game, Wally Buono instructs his offense. They got it down at R5, take a knee. And I'm like, just put it in the end zone. Kicking our ass anyways. He was going to be a sportsman and not rub it in our face. It was already 33-12. Right. Just score. And then the ratings went because the rest of the country was used for 100 years having Sunday playoff games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the ratings went in the toilet. So you need to build it. You got to start somewhere is what you're saying. But I remember that day very clearly is what I'm saying. Michael Bishop, the former Patriots quarterback, threw 4 picks in the first quarter. He was cut the next day. I get triggered by these things, Zaun. Do you have triggers?
I can tell.
Yeah.
You just.
What are yours?
My triggers?
Yeah.
Well.
Let's not go there.
Yeah. There's a few, but sportsmanship's a big deal. You know, especially with baseball and all their unwritten rules. And
he was trying to be nice, but
was.
I'm like, you just kicked for 59 minutes. Why stop now? Just put it in the end zone, man.
You didn't care. I mean, for me, I would have been mad if he rubbed it in my face. But we don't really. Do they have the equivalent of the bean ball in the NFL? They don't really.
No,
they don't.
No,
they don't. Because where I was raised, you handle business on the field with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball in the rib cage.
You know what's funny you say that? It would be the crack back block or something where they used to be able to get it off the film. Yeah. You can't hide anything anymore. But a beanball, everybody sees it.
Yeah.
And everybody knows it's coming.
Right. My favorite thing is you drill somebody and you don't even react. When something happens on the field, you just handle your business quietly, but everybody knows. It's more gangster when you don't even react. When you just smoke,
of course.
When you smoke somebody in the rib cage, and you can see them writhing on the ground and they can't breathe, and you're sitting over there on the other side of the field loving it. It was one of my favorite things to handle for my club when I was catching, because I'm having a full-blown conversation with the guy while he's writhing in agony on the ground. I'm like, hey, what's the new saying? They use the F word, but it's like mess around and find out. Is that
right.
the new thing on the internet? That's exactly what it is. And I'm sitting there, I'm leaning into this guy, and I'm like, yeah, mess around and find out, buddy. How you feeling about yourself now?
Of course you would be.
Pimp that home run again, dude.
In 90 seconds, is baseball getting away from those types of traditions?
Yes. The players are way too soft. People don't want to see it. I mean, you look at Buster Posey, the entire game changed. If it was Gregg Zaun that got smoked at home plate and blew up his ankle, nobody would have cared. They would have never changed that rule. But when the MVP of the league, the batting champion, is getting blown up at home plate, they don't want to see that happen anymore. So they changed the rules. And of all people, Chase Utley, he smokes a guy at second base in a playoff game, and he was the most scared middle infielder I ever played against. We used to talk about smoking that guy. Get up underneath Chase's feet. He'll throw it in the stands for you because he's scared. And it ends up being him that ends up changing the rules. They got to go back to letting baseball players handle business on the field.
They won't. Just so you know.
Probably not.
Yeah. Zauni, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
Great to see you as always. Going to be fun tonight as always.
You know it.
You're the best. The CFL discussion will continue right after this. We're live from Ballers RecRoom, the site of the best party of this championship week. We're live on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Big time. I gotta hit the beat.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall. Or you might hit your head and cause a lifelong injury. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might injure your back, resulting in partial loss of mobility. Take safer steps. Find out more at WorksafeSask.ca.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Welcome back to Grey Cup coverage. The 109th Canadian Football League Championship will be decided on Sunday between the Toronto Argonauts and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And Winnipeg favored by 5.5 points at our exclusive betting partner, Bet Regal. And the parade of champions and all-stars and award winners continues. We got Manny Arceneaux here with us, the pride of Alexandria, Louisiana. Right, Manny?
Yes, sir. That's it.
When's the last time you were there?
3 weeks ago.
That's it? Okay.
I went home to visit my mom, and I got to go back December 3rd to speak at the youth football banquet and drop off some equipment for the kids.
This guy, where do I start? Elkhorn State, very hard to cover. Let's start that. CFL All-Star perennially. You see he's got the Elks hat on right now, so he's hanging his hat in Edmonton playing for Chris Jones. But BC Lions, Minnesota Vikings, Washington Redskins, New York Jets, BC Lions again for 6 seasons. That's the longest he spent anywhere. Saskatchewan Roughriders in 2019. Frisco Fighters of the Indoor Football League in 2021. And now with Edmonton. And the winner of the Tom Pate Award for Community Service last night. So that's why I want to say congratulations. How'd you win that? What's the criteria, and how did you take that home?
Man, I guess it's the way guys model themselves, what they doing off the field, not so much on the field, having that leadership, instinct, skill set. And for me, like I told people, I didn't win this award this year. This seed was planted in 2009 when I stepped foot in the CFL. And I think the best way to win the award, man, is when it just comes naturally. You ain't out here doing community service because the team says you have to, or you go in here because you have to. And I think for me, it was more so the care factor, being that I was a kid, like you stated, grew up Alexandria, Louisiana, single parent. So who were my mentors and folks that guided me? The community, coaches that I had. Because if it wasn't for those coaches, I wouldn't be where I was at today. So I think for me, man, it's a personal thing. My leadership attributes and skills just come naturally because that's the only thing that guided me to where I'm at today, was having those people.
So I got a few things to go over with Manny here. But for those that don't know, he has a rather unique touchdown celebration Can you do it on the camera here?
What they want to see my the little march.
Yeah.
What's bushwhack?
That's where it came from. WWF bushwhacker fan. But how do you when you see kids doing that? That must feel good. Huh?
Man, it make my day. My little son that's 4 years old, he'll do something. He'll call me, hey, the Manny Show, and he'll start doing it. But when fans caught on, man, it's exciting. And even when I played in SAS, you got all those fans and they moving their arms, and you be like, man, this is what it's really about. But I guess that's what make the CFL game so special are the fans. You know what? They're at reach. So it's not like you this professional athlete or they see you as this icon that it's impossible to reach. It's like, nah, I'm human.
You can literally reach out.
I'm human just like you. So you guys, the fans, is what make the game. So that's what I like so much about the CFL game is that you're no bigger than them. We in this thing together, and I think that's what makes it special.
Well, there's just one small story that I've talked about with Manny on this show before. I'm not sure if you remember, but I was supposed to speak at a banquet in Weyburn, Saskatchewan.
Farmers.
To a room of farmers, okay, which I was one. And for whatever reason, I couldn't make it. And Manny stepped up. And they said, what's this guy know from Louisiana about farming and speaking of farmers? And I said, he'll be great. And you were way better than I would have been. You went down there, just recap what you talked about.
Man, it was just adversity, man. And
he had them eating out of the palm of his hand.
Look, that's something that we all have in common. What type? Hey, you never know, but it comes in many different forms and fashion. And when you look at guys that's farmers, they have to deal with the weather, things, the unknown.
Out of their control.
You see what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing. Control the controllables. The same way it happens in life, the same way it happens in sports, the same way it happens in careers. And I think at the end of the day, that was the overall message, is to never stop believing in yourself and how to bounce back from defeat and how to overcome adversity. And the odds that I beat in life was those struggles dealing with injuries, making the right decisions. For them, it's like, is this crop that I'm harvesting, is the winter going to damage it? Okay, the weather's not what I want it to be. Or you take a loss. It's like, how do you bounce back for that loss? And I think that's how the game of football, but in sports in general, ties into life so easily.
Mm-hmm. So when you signed in Edmonton, I was pretty happy you did. But you missed Jones here by a year, right?
Yeah.
But you knew him from before, or what?
Man, I've always known him for going against him.
Yeah.
So it was like, for me, I was like, okay, he the DC, how I'm going to go on him, or I got to tear his DBs up, because he was one of the coaches that have a guy track you the entire game. So I always known him as the opponent. Like, man, I can't stand that guy.
This was the head coach in Edmonton.
Yeah, so it was like, look, I can't stand that guy. I got to go out here and have a game. But now being on the same side, you know what? I was like, I actually like this guy. I run through a brick wall for him. So, yeah.
Of course, man. I thought all those same things until he came here in 2016, and I said to him, why don't you show this side to everybody?
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Right.
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Hey.
You and I are the same that way. We're the same to everybody, right?
Yeah.
Jones is a different guy.
Right.
Away from and that's his right.
Oh, yeah.
To be whatever he wants. But
you can't let everybody in. Then once you do that, you become vulnerable.
That's probably...
So, hey, you got to protect your space.
I need to be more like Chris Jones.
Yeah, protect your space. Peace of mind.
So, what are the things about him? Because it was a tough year up there.
Yeah.
But everybody believes the good times are coming. They just wonder how long it's going to take.
Right, and it starts now. If you're looking to be a contender and build for 2023, as soon as that season ended, you on to next year. The team can't be built in training camp. That's too late. So it's putting the pieces of the puzzle together. Guys you have on the roster, check in with them, make sure where they at in their head space and what their mindset is. And I think once you can get a core and have a solid foundation of my core guys, then you just sprinkle the pieces around it. But I think in today's game, a lot of athletes that's talented have to embrace the fact of understanding their role. And there's only one football out there. Every guy can't get every ball, Every guy can't get interceptions. Every guy can't get a sack. But once you can play together and use the guy on the side of you to expand your game and skill set, meaning you playing complementary football, I think that organization can start trending upward. But, once you get a lot of young talent in, new faces, you have to learn to be a pro. You have to learn to set those standards, those expectations, and embrace a role. Because if you come from a college being the guy, that's all you know is I'm the guy. At the pro level, you're one of the guys. It's a bunch of yous. And that's what a lot of young guys don't understand or don't get coming into professional football is at the high school level, it might be 4, 5, 6 guys. At college level, the number gets smaller. I mean, the number gets bigger, you know what I'm saying, of how many guys can actually go. So it's like, learn your role, embrace your role, and when it's time, that role will expand.
Get ready.
Yeah, so.
Just lastly, and Candid Frank, I'm going to bring you in here next in a couple minutes here, so get ready. Wolf that down. My guy, Duran.
Yeah.
It didn't go the way we'd all hoped. He was hurt.
Yeah.
He's not done, is he? Duran Carter we're talking about here.
Man, you know what? I can't speak for Duran. Brilliant football mind. Like you say, injuries happen, they occur. At the end of the day, it's what he want to do. You know what? Do he want to revive his career, put a stamp on it, and go out the right way? But how this year went, it was kind of bad for everybody, especially if you had an injury during the time of how this season went. But, at the end of the day, he got to look himself in the mirror, decide what it is he want to do, and just be all in. And like you say, he was a big spark in the CFL at one point.
He's another guy I hated till I got to know him.
Yeah, so
now he's my guy.
So it's like,
I know these guys.
Right, it's how can you get vintage DC back? How can you get that guy back? And sometimes, it is what it is. So, that's a decision he would have to make. But he was great for the league, instinctive, whether it was offense or defense, play both sides of the ball. So it's just a matter of him, getting back to who he really is.
I agree. Or the best Duran.
That part.
As he and I have talked about, which that is a very great Duran. So,
yeah.
Frankie, come on up. Manny, I'll let you roll, but thanks for stuff. Always good seeing you. Safe travels back to Dallas, and we'll see you in the field next year.
Appreciate it.
All right. Manny Arceneaux. How about a hand for Manny Arceneaux? Frank, get up here. Emmanuel Arceneaux. Is your leg broken, Frank? Hurry up. We don't have a lot of time here. We got 5 minutes, man. You've been sitting here for an hour and a half begging to get on. Are you sweating in those?
No, it's all good. It is.
Candid Frank, Argonauts legend. Your team's made it again, Frankie.
Yeah.
You're looking great.
Thank you.
What's up? What are you doing differently?
Well, I've taken some advice from you, watched some of your stuff, and I've decided that
I love it.
I think what's really important, it makes me feel good here being with you. I'm grateful for all the great attention I've received because of you.
Sure.
And I'm really proud of what you said at the beginning of the program. I think you're right. I think we're a little too negative about the Canadian Football League. And I think sometimes we allow ourselves to be baited by the people who dislike the Canadian Football League and use the NFL as a hammer, when most of us who love the CFL love football, which means we love the NFL too. There's nothing wrong with loving both.
I don't like the comparisons. They're inevitable. Frank, here's a photo from the lovely. Go ahead, Donnie. You come on up and take a photo. Everybody's so afraid. Am I that scary? To come on up.
They don't want to disturb you.
Listen to the pipes on this guy. This is what I keep hearing from all of our new viewers and listeners, wherever they may be outside of Saskatchewan. They say, you have great broadcasters on the air. And I said, it used to mean something.
Yeah,
you've got a broadcast history.
It still does. Yeah, a little bit. I was on television for a little while.
Well, of course, look at that mug.
Yeah, well, it's gone a little gray.
Control GX.
Absolutely.
They got something for that. No, I'm not on Twitch. We're not on Twitch. We're on YouTube and WQEE. Anyways, I cut you off.
That's okay.
I was looking for you in the crowd last week because you're not hard to find sometimes with those Argo crowds.
Right.
It was hard last week. It's a big crowd.
It was a really big crowd. And what was ironic is that there was probably, we were only short of last year by, I think, about a little less than 1,000. which is great because with Hamilton, as everybody knows, if they saw the Eastern Final last year, it almost seemed like a home game for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It wasn't, but and there were more Argo fans. But this one here, Montreal afforded a few extra fans. They had a section. But there were a lot of, what I really like, Rod, is that there were a lot of younger football fans that we saw there at the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's, the key to the Canadian Football League, I think, is that, like you said, and I want to repeat it again because it's really important, we got to stop talking negative about the CFL, because one thing I've learned, and we've learned in the political sphere and in other things, that if you repeat a lie often enough, it becomes the truth. And I think what's happened is it's a lie. The Canadian Football League is a great league. Yes, you can't compare it to the NFL. If you keep talking about how bad it is, people are going to believe it's bad, except for the people who go and take part. They know it's good. They know it's great. We're lucky to have places like Regina and Winnipeg and Edmonton. Those places are, the hallmark of our league. Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver right now. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver were a concern for the past couple of years. Toronto's teams played better. Montreal's ownership has really taken a step up, and look at British Columbia. I mean, what do you want more than that kind of?
It can be done.
Absolutely.
They're disproving the myth.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't remember how to pronounce his name.
Amber Doman. The owner?
No, I know who he is. Yeah, the guy that was in charge of it.
Rick Lawlisher.
Yes, he won last night. And he hung around, and I asked him last night after the award that he got, is there something what was the last thing that you told him about, what to do and stuff like this? Well, he doesn't really need to be told anything. He understands. He's a football fan. And this is what we need in the Canadian Football League. We need people who love the game to be a part of it, not just in the stands, not just at the games, or not just even the players, right? We need it in ownership too. We need people who understand the Canadian Football League, what it's all about, how it works, and maybe I think it's very possible. I think we're on a good curve. Let me ask you. The Eastern Final, the Western Final had 4 quarterbacks. Tell me which one of those quarterbacks you didn't think could win a Grey Cup.
Oh, they all could.
Right?
Yeah. What was odd was they were double-digit wins in both. Like the games weren't. They should have been better than they were. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess you're a defensive guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's why the offenses this year were I think
scoring was up.
Yeah. For the first time, I think the idea of you have to have a great defense to win a game. We didn't see that in the Eastern and Western Final. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
Wayne in Victoria, BC. Frank makes a great point about people who hate the CFL always putting the NFL against the CFL. Most CFL fans love football, period. You just need to stop listening to the outside noise, but I don't think anybody is ever going to be able to do that, nor stop talking negatively about it. It's a wonderful thought, Frank, but people don't change until they want to. I'm going to let you go, but your voice continues to be mesmerizing. I could listen to it all day. You look great.
So do you.
Thanks for coming down.
It's my pleasure.
We're going to Montreal next. Is Cliffy still here? What do you got? Are you taking it off, Frank?
I'm taking it off. Selfless promotion.
Candid Frank live. I love it. We'll be right back to Ballers after this on Game Plus and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
dark horse bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might hit your head and cause a lifelong injury. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might injure your back, resulting in partial loss of mobility. Take safer steps. Find out more at WorksafeSask.ca.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
All right, we're live from that beautiful place, Ballers RecRoom. The biggest party of this championship week is right here tonight. You've got time all afternoon to slide down and pick up your tickets for the biggest party at the CFL Championship. All the All-Stars, well, not all of them, but a lot of them will be here. Our good friends, alumni, the TV TSN superstars. So we'll see you down here. Sports update before we bring in Cliffy D. Pine. The Vancouver Canucks will play host to the red-hot Los Angeles Kings tonight in NHL play. The Canucks, who snapped a 3-game skid on Tuesday, will be looking to build a win streak of their own as they push to get their season on track. Meanwhile, the Kings enter the matchup as winners in 5 of their last 6. It's the only game, believe it or not, in the NHL tonight. The Raptors and Atlanta Hawks are off as well in the NBA. And CFL news, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers won 4 of the 7 awards at Thursday night's CFL Awards. Why do they keep saying a banquet? They didn't serve food. Cliffy D. Pine, let's call it a ceremony. Were you there?
I was. It was a
Did
celebration. Well, media got fed, but I don't know about the...
I don't think it was a banquet.
I wouldn't call it a banquet.
Anyways, quarterback Zach Caleros won MVP. Mike O'Shea won Coach of the Year. Receiver Dalton Schoen won top rookie honors. And Stanley Bryant won top lineman. By the way, BC Lions quarterback Nathan Rourke, you've been hearing about him all year, won top Canadian. And the most outstanding defensive player, Ottawa's Lorenzo Molden IV. And Saskatchewan's Mario Alford won top special teams honors. This sports update is for Ballers RecRoom and the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store. Both are running shuttles to the big game on Sunday if you're going and need a ride and don't want to park. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. The great Cliffy D. Pine joins us from the Alouettes Flight Deck podcast, all the way here from Montreal for the big game. Hello, Clifford.
Hello.
Thanks for sitting through that preamble.
Definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate seeing you.
It's always good seeing you. We went to the Stanley Cup Finals 2 years ago in Montreal with this show, and you were good enough to come on down at Chateau de Champlain.
Oh, yes.
It's always good times when I see you. What's up with that?
Man, I don't know what it is. It's got to be. It's got to be the connection. It's got to be. Also, you were in Montreal, so I mean, how can I not come and say hello to you?
Yeah, you always do. And here you are in my turf. Okay, the big news, aside from the game itself, which nobody's talking about, is the commissioner dropping the bomb this morning, Randy Ambrosie. They're going to move playoff games beginning next year from Sunday to Saturday.
That's pretty impressive. And it's going to be great for travel, especially because myself and Tim Capper, my co-host on the Flight Deck podcast, we went to Toronto for the game. And you know what? A lot of fans really wanted to come see the game. A lot of Alouettes fans showed up and showed out, which is fantastic. But if you want to leave day of the game, you're getting up at the crack of dawn. Not even the crack of dawn. You're getting up in the middle of the night practically to drive down to Toronto just to make it in time to go tailgate and all that stuff. Doing that on a Sunday when you got work the next day or school the next day doesn't exactly work. So having the games on a Saturday, I think, is going to make a huge difference.
Just in my mind, I'm tweeting this as we go. We do have a poll question today, which you could take a stab at for Capital Auto Mall, Universal Collision Center. They have dealerships all across the prairies and the state of California. Who will have more rushing yards in the Grey Cup on Sunday? Winnipeg running back Brady Oliveira, Toronto running back Andrew Harris. How would you vote on that?
Can we add on also AJ Ouellette? Because if he gets a chance to run as well, I mean, this dude is like trying to tackle a bowling ball.
I guess we could say Toronto or Winnipeg. How about that?
That's fair. Although, if you're going to make me choose, I'm going to say Brady Oliveira.
Okay.
The kid is just beyond talented.
Well, you asked to add another guy, so I'm just going by what you wanted.
Well, listen, I'm saying by the slimmest of margins, I will say Winnipeg's running back core will just slightly edge Toronto's.
Okay, fair. Now, are you like... there's a lot of Saskatchewan fans here because you're in Saskatchewan. They don't want Winnipeg to win because they hate them. Mm-hmm. Are you anti-Toronto Sunday?
I just hope both teams have fun.
And nobody gets hurt.
Exactly.
No.
You know what? I'm going to make a very bold prediction. The winner of the Grey Cup this Sunday, they will be wearing blue.
Oh, stop it, Cliff. Would you come on here for a comedy show? That's Frank's job.
Yeah. Had to squeeze it in somehow.
Honestly, Winnipeg's favored by 5.5 at our exclusive betting partner, Bet Regal. Do they cover? How about that?
They cover. I will say that.
You think Winnipeg wins? By 5.5 or more. Cool.
Easily.
Is it a good storyline? Like, we got people writing in here going, is this a good matchup? Toronto, Winnipeg?
Of course it is.
Yeah,
they
all
destiny.
are. Yeah.
People love destinies. You talk about the Patriots winning in the 2000s. You talk about the Dallas Cowboys, the San Francisco 49ers.
Dynasties, yes.
All dynasties. And the CFL hasn't had a dynasty in, close to 40 years with the Edmonton franchise? So I think we were due for that. I mean, back-to-back is always nice. Montreal and Toronto have done that. And Winnipeg did it the past 2 years. So for them to go for a third is incredible when you really think about it.
Well, pretty much everybody is saying that they shouldn't switch the playoff games from Sunday to Saturday. You came in here and said they should. So that's why I'm doing a sub poll, guys. You don't got to put it up on YouTube, but I've put it on Twitter here. For Capital Auto Mall and Universal Collision Center, should the CFL switch its playoff games from Sunday to Saturday? I'm putting you down for a yes. I'm kind of frankly saying no. Here's the tough part about the disjointedness of this. If you're going to put this semifinal weekend and final weekend on a Saturday, you got to kind of put the Grey Cup on a Saturday, don't you?
Oh, that's a tough one because when the commissioner talked about it this week or this morning at the State of the League address, he had mentioned that you do kind of lose that extra day of partying for Grey Cup by having the game on
there you go.
Saturday. So there's two sides to the coin. I get that, but as far as the semifinals and the Eastern Western finals, I have absolutely no issue with it all being on Saturday, if only for the travel, because let's face it, fans love to travel. Fans love to go and support their team on the road. And doing it on a Saturday makes that a lot easier. Grey Cup is a different animal altogether because fans are going to travel no matter what. So,
yeah. Well, it's clearly a fun debate. We're all having a lot of fun debating it today. Kevin, the medium out there in Airdrie, says, I hate when others disagree with my stance and then come on the air and make sense. LOL. He says, I'm leaning more towards that Saturday. Isn't that bad? Mandy in Edmonton says, in my opinion, it's great to switch playoffs from Sunday to Saturday so they don't have to compete with the NFL. Carlos in Indianapolis said, I'm fine with it on a Saturday, but at the same time, clearing Sundays for the NFL just shows how football submits to the NFL. There's more to this for those. How old are you, Cliff, if you don't mind me saying?
I'm in my 40s.
Me too. So I was in the league 20 years. I was a fan before that. You don't understand. At one time in Canada, the CFL dwarfed the NFL. And over time, the NFL has now dwarfed the CFL in Canada. It's not about when we're playing the games. It's about getting Canadians interested in CFL football. It's not about the day of the game. My opinion. They need to get... It's not about when they play the playoff games. The problems of the CFL aren't that, in my mind.
Look at the Monday Night Football games, for example. You got why are people showing up to games in Seattle at 5:15 on a Monday? Because it's there.
It's the thing to do.
Because it's there. Because there's football. I always say, if you want to do it, you'll find a way. If you don't want to do it, you'll find an excuse. And realistically, that's really what it comes down to.
That was my line, wasn't it, Clark? I think Cliff stole it.
Bingo! How about that?
Yeah.
Oh, good one,
I
Rod.
think so. JT on YouTube says, I could see Rod Pedersen as the CFL commissioner. He's well-versed and connected to football here, there, and everywhere. No thanks. I don't want it. The CFL doesn't want it. We're doing just fine down in South Florida. CFL, keep doing what you're doing. And I'll keep doing what I'm doing. We're on different roads, and we're both okay with that.
I was going to say, could you run the league from South Florida?
Not interested.
I don't know.
I would personally like to see the CFL expand. You're old enough to remember the 90s CFL.
Yep.
Wasn't that cool?
It was interesting.
Or did you not like it?
Well, here's the thing, because Montreal wasn't part of the discussion at the time. It was, okay,
Yeah, you weren't in it. That's right.
So from an outsider perspective, I looked at it, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. It's cool. And I think the Baltimore fans, for example, they embraced it. Now, maybe just because they were so football hungry that they would jump on just about anything football-wise. And they ended up moving to Montreal.
They were drawing 35 to 40,000.
That's it.
Right? That was pretty darn good. Bigger
Even
than any crowds in this country.
Football and these weird rules and whatever. They love football. That's what it came down to.
Cliffy, merci.
Always a pleasure.
Have fun and be safe.
Absolutely.
Yeah, always is. Cliffy D. Pine from the Alouettes Flight Deck podcast. Darren Moose DuPont joins us next for the final segment of the week here from the 109th Grey Cup at Ballers RecRoom. We'll be right back on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Grey Eagle Resort.
Casino.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might injure your knee, leading to a permanent disability. Take safer steps. Learn more at worksafesas.ca.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
It is overtime, proudly presented by the Four Seasons Sports Palace. As the Greek Freak likes to say over there, you're home for the NFL and UFC. And I thank all the CFL fans that have headed over to the Four Seasons. Funny how advertising works, eh, Moose?
Yeah.
As the Moose Show, we talked about it here, and the fans go there. I've done a quasi-poll. Since you joined, stuff's going down.
Okay.
As you see, the commissioner of the CFL dropping the bomb today that they're going to move playoff games from Sunday to Saturday starting next year. There are some saying, what's the big deal? This is a very big deal.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how you can't see that it's a very big deal. And by the way, I did a sub-poll, as we said, for Capital Auto Mall. 82% of respondents so far are all for them moving the games from Sunday to Saturday. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I just wonder how much research went into this because we tried it once. It was a flop. Went back the next year. So what are you voting? Yes or no?
I know, right? You say that. I'm like, look, we've tried like all this statistical data we have because we're all so scared about going up against the NFL in Canada. But the CFL holds their own in this country in terms of numbers when it goes head-to-head with the NFL. We've seen it in the past. Like you said, we've gone that way back to Saturday games. Doesn't work. Move it right back to Sunday. So it sounds scary to go head-to-head with the NFL, but really, your CFL fans are going to view anyways, and the people who aren't going to watch and they're just going to watch NFL are going to do that anyways. They're not going to watch on. They're not going to magically watch on Saturday. So we'll see. I don't think it'll be a big deal. I really don't.
So Bet Regal is our exclusive betting partner. I think Allie's still here from Bet Regal. It's a big week for them. They're the CFL's official betting partner. And producer Clark says he's got some graphics here, some bets, which I didn't know what they are specifically. So he's going to throw them up on the screen. We'll decide if we take the bet. Here we go. Oh, right now you can bet on these at Bet Regal. Fun little prop bets. They're always fun, aren't they? So there you go. Can you see it?
I can. Yeah.
Yeah, you go ahead with it. Oh, there's a bunch. We'll just run through them here.
Yeah.
You can bet on the first team to have a coach's challenge. Who's the first quarter? This isn't that difficult. These are like the old poll tickets or...
Yes.
Right? So...
It's not necessarily a strategy thing. Then you can get into, who's going to have more rushing yards, more passing yards, who's going to lead the, in first person to score, first team to score. Fun stuff like that. So,
is anybody going to score 3 touchdowns? I got to honestly look back and go, because I have... at one time digested the CFL and Grey Cup record book. I don't know that anybody as an individual has ever scored 3 touchdowns.
Well, yeah, I don't know either. But, that's what's fun about it because if it happens,
they call it gambling.
If it happens, you're going to win big, right? But chances are you're probably not going to win any of your money. So that's what's fun about it, as long as you're okay to lose it.
Well, I would encourage anybody to go to betregal.ca, betregal.net, and just get in and play around.
Yeah.
Have some fun with those bets and just have a look at just the individual prop bets. But we did say that at the end of the show, we were going to do the big one.
Yes.
The deal or no deal, and that is the line, 5.5 points. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers are the favorites. Are you taking the deal?
I'm not taking the deal.
Oh,
no
ding,
deal.
Ding, ding, ding,
I
ding.
don't have Argos gear, but I wore the Toronto colors. I'm riding with the Argos on Sunday. Okay, I love the Bombers, but I'm
Tristan
riding
too.
with the Argos
Your guy,
on Sunday.
Hey, Ricky, who wins Sunday? Argo, that's because you love pinball. He came in here and won you over.
He did that with a lot of people.
Which, incidentally, by the way, I'm cheering for the Argos, but I think Winnipeg will win. Hey, how about that? They're paying attention over there.
Yes.
Candid Frank.
How about that?
For a few reasons. It's funny. I just, I see this stuff on social media that are people getting tired of Winnipeg. No, they're not. But they're the new Saskatchewan. You know, the country was cheering for the underdogs for years, and then Rider fans just got too annoying when we started winning. I get it. And Bomber fans are becoming that. It's not their fault. It's the Patriots. We all didn't like the Patriots. We liked Tom, but we didn't like Bill because we're sick of them.
Yeah, you win too much and it becomes old, and now you're not the lovable loser anymore that you feel good about when they win. And I think we're there with Winnipeg now. I think we're there with Winnipeg. You talk about the trash talk. You've won twice in a row, act like you've been there. And they, clean up at the year-end awards. So, yeah, I think Toronto's got a lot of the country's interest here this week.
B. Henderson writes in and he says, Mosaic Stadium's going to look like IG Field on Sunday. Yeah, a lot of blue. It happens. You got to give them their due. It reminds me of Rogers Center 2007. It was all green. Things have changed. At some point, people are going to get onto that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And way to go, Winnipeg. I'm in it for that. But they've won the last two. So let's have Toronto have their pie and eat it too. And here come all the comments here from Barkley McIver. Way to go, Ricky. Go Argos. Joe Pascucci writing in. He says, thank you, Scooch. Legendary Winnipeg reporter. He says, I believe Jim Van Pelt scored 3 touchdowns in 1958. I wouldn't be putting money down on that. From Terry Livermore, he says, knocked it out of the park, RP. You're the best. Safe travels. Thank you, Terry. But it was all Clark, for sure. Jordan, of course. Darren's probably done the most work that I've seen you ever do. Are you tired? Wow. Your eyes are so red.
No, not yet.
It was like you were out drinking all night.
I know. And I really wasn't. I had 2 cocktails last night.
3, maybe.
That's it.
4.
Just 2.
Hot take.
From Stacy from Access World Headquarters. Thanks for a great week of shows, Rod Squad. And I'll just leave it there because the comments are coming in like crazy. Enjoy the game. This show is a wonderful compliment to what the CFL's trying to do, and for that matter, what any league is trying to do, and that's stir up conversation, stir up interest, and we certainly did it today. I thank our listeners down in Atlanta, WQEE, Ryan O'Radio, my spirit brother down there, and their support of what we do every day. And Moose, we will see you tonight. You got to go get some toothpicks for those eyes of yours. Okay,
I'll be ready.
Thank you to Gregg Zaun, Cliffy D. Pine, Candid Frank, who else?
Manny.
Reid Johnson, Manny Arceneaux, the whole gang. It's quite a show today. We'll see you tonight at the party and Sunday at the Greg Cup, everybody. Thanks for watching and listening. Who has more fun than us?
I like it. Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. How about that?